He said, I built a website for my local business about a year ago when I was new to SEO. Over the past year, my Google business profile has been ranking well, but my website never performed well in rankings. So he's talking about an organic. And I understand why. And I understand why. Now I'm planning to rebuild the website, but I'm unsure if rebuilding on my existing WordPress site will take longer to improve these rankings, or should I create an entirely new site on HighLevel and transfer the domain, or should I stick with WordPress? It doesn't matter which platform you use. It really doesn't. In my opinion, at least, you know, I prefer HighLevel just because of its simplicity, and there's like virtually no maintenance at all with HighLevel. But with WordPress, every time you log into WordPress, you got more updates to do. And if you don't update it, it will get hacked. It's just a matter of time. And even if you do all the updates, it can likely be hacked because it happens all the time. There's just I like HighLevel sites because there's no maintenance. It's infinitely scalable, even with a starter account. Or at least currently, it's still infinitely scalable. In other words, even with a starter account at HighLevel, it's $97 a month. You can host unlimited websites. And so that's why I like HighLevel. But it doesn't matter if you're already familiar with WordPress. If you're using HighLevel in your business already, then I would encourage you to go ahead and make the switch to HighLevel so that you become familiar with building sites in HighLevel. And I think you'll agree. I think, better types of sites right now because of their simplicity and their reduced, the fact that they don't need to be maintained really, right? They're maintenance-free sites essentially. Um, but if you're not familiar with building sites in HighLevel and you have a WordPress site, then again, depending on what your goals are and for your business or your agency or whatever, because I'm not sure whether you're an agency or a specific business or whatever, um, then you may want to focus on other things so that you don't have to learn a new platform. Okay, so that's up to you to decide. There's nothing wrong with WordPress except it's higher maintenance and it has all those other issues that I just described, right? So in any case, the idea here is if you don't have a problem with the domain, if there's no penalty applied against the domain, then just restructuring the site to perform better in organic search would be the way to go. And that's either keep it on WordPress or switch it over to HighLevel. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's just changing how the site is structured and how you're optimizing. That should help it to perform better in organic search, right? You may need links too. You likely will need links too. But the thing that I see the most common still in the audits that I do, which I do 5 to 7 audits per week, and I've been doing that consistently for months, and I still see all the time that websites are still configured with the old kind of outdated practice of product or service keyword times city for every city that they want to target. So you have just excessive redundancy on the site where it's saying the same damn thing over and over and over again. And the only thing that changes are the location modifiers. And it might be that the content is unique on every page, but it's still saying the same things over and over and over again. And that is completely unnecessary in today's search environment. And I'm in the process of an audit right now. I was in like literally 3 minutes before today's webinar or Hump Day Hangout. I was recording an audit video that I had to stop, and I'm going to go pick back up on it once this is done today. The Hump Day Hangouts is done, and it's for an attorney site, a legal law firm site, a personal injury attorney. And it's just unbelievable that, and I'm not going to say who it is or who the client is, my client, which is the agency SEO, but there's 1,300 pages on the site, and only 300 pages are indexed. And the URL strings are this fucking long because it says the keyword so many times, personal injury attorney plus city slash car accident attorney plus city slash, uh, you know, uh, some modifier or something. Like the URL is this damn long, and it's got the keyword 4 damn times in the URL string. And then it's the same keywords targeted in the SEO title and the same keywords targeted in the H1. So it's the same kind of phrase or statement 4 times, URL, SEO title, H1, then multiple times throughout the page. And then there's every single practice area type. And remember, personal injury attorneys, guys, they've got like a dozen at least practice areas, right? Dog bite attorneys, pedestrian accident attorneys, car accident attorneys, which, by the way, car accident attorneys, motorcycle accidents, and truck accidents are all traffic collisions. Entity-based optimization, go look at it, Wikipedia. Traffic collision is the actual entity that includes car accidents, car crashes, truck accidents, motorcycle accidents. Those are all traffic collisions. So you really only need one page, and then you can reference as H2s on those pages. Motorcycle accidents, truck accidents, car accidents, etc., because those are all traffic collisions, if you understand that. So instead of having truck accident times city, car accident times city, motorcycle accident times city times 20 cities. Now you've got 60 pages, and all we're talking about is traffic collisions, right? You could have one traffic collision page and one page for those 20 cities, one page for each city. Now you've got 21 pages that are accomplishing what you tried to accomplish was 60 pages. And that's just a small example, right? And so I see that all the time. Like, I'm not kidding. I 5 to 7 audits per week, and I've been doing that consistently for months. And I still see all the time people are submitting these projects saying, well, I don't understand why this campaign is not performing better. Well, did you check the indexing rate? If you've got 1,300 pages on the site and only 300 of them are indexed, that's less than 25% of the site is indexed. What is the purpose of those pages? If they're not indexed, they're dead weight. They're not helping anything. So why even have them? And imagine the amount of work that went into producing 1,300 pages. And some of these pages are 3,000 words long in content. No kidding. And we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of pages with thousands of words of content on each page that is saying the same damn thing over and over and over again. And do you think that's efficient? Do you think with Google and large language models and AI integrated into its search algorithm that it needs to be hammered over the head like that anymore? That is a clear no. Google doesn't need to, we don't need to hammer Google over the head like that anymore. We used to have to do that. I understand why we did that because I did it too. I hated that type of optimization, but that's how we got results. But now in today's search environment, because of large language models and integrated AI, Google can very clearly understand what the site is about because it maps the site out thanks to the helpful content update. I described this as a way to kind of visualize the change from a keyword-based algorithm to an entity-based algorithm. This is how I visualize it. I don't care whether this is accurate or not. This is how, in my own mind, I interpret the difference and how it evolved. A keyword-based algorithm, which is what it was prior to AI, large language models, etc., was a two-dimensional document retrieval algorithm. Okay, again, this is just how I visualize this in my own head. It makes it easier for me to understand or conceptualize this, right? So Google is still a document retrieval algorithm. It's just super advanced now. But a document is a web page, by the way. So prior to large language models and AI and all of that being integrated into the search algorithm, it was, in my opinion, the way that I visualize it, a two-dimensional document retrieval algorithm. And now it's a three-dimensional document retrieval algorithm because it's an entity-based algorithm versus a keyword-based algorithm, if that's clear. And so that's why we talk about semantic triplet statements when optimizing at the document level. So the page, SEO title, meta title, document title, those all mean the same thing. That's the web page title, SEO title, meta title, document title, right? Semantic triplet statements, subject, object, predicate. That is about entity association. We are trying to associate the brand with the products or services it provides and the locations in which it provides them, right? It's all about association, entity association. And so we can create entity association through document titles or web page titles. Then we can create associations between pages of the site because no longer can we just optimize individual pages and rank those as part of a larger whole of a site because with the helpful content update, Google is looking at sites holistically in their entirety. How does this one page relate to the other pages on the site? And it's only a part of a whole. It's a small part of a larger whole. And so Google takes the larger whole into account now when it determines what to do with individual pages on the site. Whereas before it didn't do that, at least not as much. As long as the domain didn't have a penalty against it, previous to the kind of switch from a keyword-based algorithm to an entity-based algorithm, you could have certain pages on a domain that were optimized to near perfection, and they could rank really well, even if the rest of the site was trash and garbage and optimized terribly as long as there wasn't a penalty applied against the domain, those pages that were optimized well could still rank really, really well. Now it's not so much the case because you could have pages that are optimized really well on a domain, but because Google is looking at the site in its entirety and creating kind of an overall site quality score that then is basically applied to all pages of the site, if the rest of the site is garbage and you have a few well-optimized pages, those pages are not going to perform as well as they could because they're being pulled down by the other parts of the site that aren't optimized as well. And so again, coming back to what I think are the two most important things that we should be doing for local SEO right now or for improving performance in local search campaigns is number one, brand authority or brand strength. I think that is the most important thing. And then number two is site efficiency of the self-hosted site. right? Does that make sense? Those two things, if you get those right, you build enough brand authority and you also make the site efficient and reduce crawl resistance. Thank you, Cecilia. She's the one who gave me that term, and I love that term. But reduce crawl resistance to a bare minimum or eliminate crawl resistance altogether. Now you've got a winning combination where it's going to require less content, less pages, less links, which lowers your overhead, your operating costs, your maintenance costs, right? Which means you, as the agency or the SEO, can now have a higher profit margin because you're going to be spending less to manage or maintain performance or ranking results. Does that make sense? So it's in your best interest, in my opinion, to figure out what is working in your particular industries. What is the proper page structure and site structure and internal linking, right? I always talk about page structure, site structure, internal linking. Those are the three most important things as it relates to on-page optimization for the self-hosted site and efficiency. When you have the proper page structure, site structure, and internal linking, the site is going to be naturally efficient. So the point is if you take the time to figure that stuff out up front, then it's going to lower your operating costs in order to maintain high ranking performance for those sites. Therefore, you're going to increase your profit margins, right? While everybody else is struggling to rank their sites because they're outdated, they're using outdated optimization techniques, and they have to spend significantly more on content development, significantly more on backlinks because they have so many goddamn pages on their site. All of that, you're going to be making a lot more money because you will have a much easier process to build sites. There'll be less maintenance and require less overhead to manage and maintain. So again, my point is, as far as which kind of platform to use doesn't really matter. Now, because of AI, there are so many website builders that are coming out, and honestly, I don't think I've not tested any others other than just WordPress and HighLevel and Swipe Pages I use for landing pages for ad campaigns and stuff. But other than that, like I said, just pick one, and if you're already familiar with WordPress, you can always just restructure the site in WordPress. If you have a reason to be in the HighLevel, then I do encourage you to check out HighLevel sites. I like them now because they're so much more efficient in building and maintaining. Okay. Hopefully that's clear, guys. It's really important. And the reason why I bring that up again is because, like I said, I do these audits all the time, and it's just, it's 2025 for God's sakes. And when I look at some of the structures of these websites, and it's just like, I mean, for God's sakes, if you got 1,200 pages, 1,300 pages on a site and only 25% or less are indexed, what is the purpose of all of those pages? And imagine how much wasted effort went in to developing all that content and publishing all those pages when they're not even going to index. Like, what was the purpose of that? And that's dead weight. Get rid of it, and the site will start to perform better. When done properly is my point. All right.